Sam Houston only ever wanted to be a footballer growing up. The boyhood Bolton season ticket holder would live the dream of many by getting a chance at Manchester United, but it is far from the fire pit of Old Trafford where he has made his name. He might not be a household name in his native Farnworth, but he is well known in Reykjavik, having spent the best part of 12 years playing in Iceland. Houston began his football career at the age of 8, when he joined local club AFC Bolton. After just 2 games, he was seen by United Academy scouts, who kept an eye on him for a year before offering him a contract. At the time of being spotted, it didn't seem like a big deal for me, he admits to the Manchester Evening News. But as soon as I went to train, you could see it was a big deal. The facilities were crazy good. Houston was a boyhood Bolton fan who idolized Danish star Per Fransen and only ever dreamed of playing for them. But he admits it would have been difficult to turn United down even if they had made him an offer instead. He joined the United Academy setup in the same season they would go on to win the treble, spending his formative years around Carrington at a golden age for the club. The young central midfielder was in the best place to develop his talents, experiencing up close what it took to be the very best in his position as he moved through the ranks to the brink of the first team. I didn't really look up to many players. I liked Keane and Scholes at United, though. Later, when I trained with them, it was crazy to see how good they both were and how they never gave the ball away. Sir Alex was always great with the young kids. He would always say hi and give little winks here and there. He was a lot of fun around the players, but when it came to the team talks, it changed, and you could see his game face and attention to detail. Houston continued to impress as he progressed at youth level, and his reward was the captaincy of the U18 side that included the likes of James Chester, Danny Drinkwater, and Danny Welbeck. Despite being a central midfielder, he proved to be a key scorer for the team, and was the catalyst of the side that reached a famous FA Youth Cup final against Liverpool. Houston netted a captain's goal in the 2-legged final at Anfield, but it would end in heartbreak as his side lost on penalties at Old Trafford in the replay, with him missing a decisive spot kick. It was a great honor to captain the team. I enjoyed that role a lot. I am not a big talker, but I like to do things the right way and set an example. That was more my style, really. The Youth Cup final was such a big learning curve for me. One game I was top of the world, scoring live on Sky in front of the Kop end. That was a nice feeling. But then to miss in the shootout was devastating. It's very strange for me, because I think my record of penalties before that was something like 18 out of 18, and I was very confident on penalties. I always believe the player should score, but personally, it was brilliant for me. I think I scored in every round apart from the semi-final. Paul Scholes was the first person to console him at Carrington the next day, a classy touch that stuck with him and helped him move on quickly from the heartbreak. Despite the disappointment of the final defeat, it was certainly more of a help than a hindrance for Houston as he caught the eye of senior figures who were well aware of his talents. At the end of the season, he was rewarded with his first professional contract and became a regular in the reserve team. Things would get even better when he began to train with the first team and was assigned a senior squad number. The pinnacle of Hewson's time at the club came midway through the 07-08 season, when he was an unused substitute for United's final Champions League group stage match away to Roma. Being on the bench against Roma was unbelievable. To think a kid from Bolton could have a chance to play in the Champions League. I only wish I would have got on for a few minutes at least, but to see how traveling with the first team was crazy, with police escorting us everywhere, and to see how passionate the fans really are. My favorite moment was coming out to warm up and hearing both fans cheering, but I also got a big boo from the Roma fans. It was a great experience. It was one of my favorite experiences for sure. Hewson would never make his senior debut for the club, but would go on to enjoy further success during his first full season in the reserve setup. There were mixed emotions as he helped his side beat his beloved Bolton to the Manchester Senior Cup, but it was a lot more satisfying to celebrate beating Liverpool for revenge in the Lancashire Senior Cup. The young midfielder was at a familiar crossroads in his career, where he was now not being properly challenged at reserve level but was some way off the world-class standards of a side that had just won the Premier League and Champions League double. Hewson was given another senior squad number heading into the new campaign but would remain an ever-present for the reserve side for the first half of the season. At the midway point of the campaign, he decided to leave on loan, joining Hereford, where he would score 3 goals in just 10 appearances for the club. Going out on loan was what I needed, and I also think I should have gone a year before I actually did. In the reserves at the time, I was playing with some great players and men, so I was used to that side of the game. Going out to these clubs and old stadiums was really exciting for me, and it made me want it more. Every point counts in these games, and if you weren't pulling your weight then you certainly would get told. Being from United, I think you had to perform and do the basics right just to show the players. I ain't just a fancy player from the academy, but I do like the other side of the game, and I think I showed that on my loans, mostly at Hereford. Hewson was in another predicament by the end of the season, as he contemplated leaving for good or seeing out his remaining year at the club. The likelihood was that he wouldn't get a chance, but the temptation remained that it would only take one cameo appearance to potentially launch his career and change his life forever. He decided to stick it out, but after another campaign of reserve football, he decided to leave on loan again in January. Hewson joined Barry until the end of the season, but he returned to United without his contract being renewed. I knew that in my last season one wasn't going to get another contract, and they were very good at helping me find a club, even offering to pay my wages at a new club. I had some injuries and a few illnesses at that time, though, so that last year didn't go smoothly or how I wanted it to. Hewson left United at the end of the season, having become jaded. His final season at Old Trafford had been marred by a slew of minor injuries, and he was now on his own. He had an unsuccessful trial with Grimsby, and without a new club lined up he ended up doing some factory work to keep himself busy and to tide him over until he decided what he wanted to do next. It was the reality check that he needed, and although he says he didn't mind the physical labor, it gave him the push he needed to give football another go. A month into the season, he signed for non-league Altrincham but was becoming disillusioned with the sport he had always dreamed of playing. If I am honest, and now looking back, I could have used more help after I was released. It's very hard to be somewhere for 13 years and then suddenly leave. I think I fell out of love for football at that point, so even at Barry and Altrincham, I was not the same player I was. My heart wasn't into it, so I think at the time when I got the call to come to Iceland, I needed that just for some fresh surroundings and something a bit different. Hewson was released by Altrincham in March 2011 and spent another 5 months out of football when he received a call from his agent offering the chance to play football in Iceland. He had no knowledge of what life would be like in the country, never mind where it was on a map. It was this chance at an unknown new beginning that appealed to him so much. I didn't have any expectations when I came at all, I just wanted to come and start enjoying my football again. I think the football suits my style. They try to keep it on the floor, and also the lifestyle suits me. I am a laid-back guy who likes the outdoors, so this seemed like a perfect fit for me. And I've been here ever since. I am enjoying the life it gives me out here. 12 years later, he is still playing in Iceland and is now at his 5th club. He has won every domestic title on offer, including 2 league titles during his time with his 2nd club, Hafnarfjörður Gymnastics Club. I would definitely encourage any young player if they get the chance to move abroad, if anything just to experience the difference in playing styles. For me, all I ever thought about was English football. I am glad I took the risk because it has given me a chance to still play and make a living. It's a world away for the boy from Bolton. Now 34, Hewson is settling into his new life with his wife and family and, most importantly, enjoying the chance to play football again. I am just trying this new role out because I am not sure if I want to be a coach or if, after I stop, I would like some time just to be away from football, but in the future, who knows? I've been in football for a long time, so after this contract I will see what and where I am body-wise, and if I can still keep doing a job for the team and people want me, I will keep playing.